Hey everyone, welcome to part 3 of a 2-part video. Yeah, I know, I didn't plan that very well. In this video I'm going to be expanding further on the previous 2 videos. If you've not seen those, check out the links in the description below. In this one it's going to be about the exhaust tips, the windows and a few other details too. Also, I'm going to be looking for people out there, if you're interested in me doing a tutorial based on your vehicles. Okay, if you send me a picture of your car, I'll figure out a tutorial we can work with that. Just please make sure that you own the copyright of the image, or you own the vehicle, or at least have permission from the vehicle owner before you get in touch. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the tutorial, and hopefully this is the last video in this series. So next up is the exhaust tips. These are similar to the wheels. We're going to start by lowering the opacity on the shadow again. Let's just drop that down so we can see what we're doing. I'm going to hit E to bring up the ellipse tool and zoom in using Control and the center mouse wheel. And then we're going to draw over I want the outline, the outer chrome section. So if we just draw that out like that. Something like that. And then what we're going to do is I need to attach that to the rest of the shadow. But before we do that, we're going to go Control D, make a duplicate and just move that out of the way. We'll come back to that in a second. Let's just make that black. And hold down Shift, click on the shadow, and just zoom out to make sure, yeah, that's selected that. We're going to go Path Union. And that will add that little edge onto the shadow there. So we can bring this back in now, and we need to reduce the size. We're going to maintain the proportions by holding down Control, and just bring that in, make it a bit smaller. And I'm going to go Shift and select the shadow again, and this time I'm going to go Path Difference, and I'll punch out that hole. And now when I move this up, you'll see that's the first tailpipe in place. And it's just a case of repeating for the others. Obviously the one next to it is much easier because you can just go Path Difference. You can even duplicate another one of those, get it the same. Really easy stuff. So on to the window next. This is actually a little bit tricky. Again, we're going to be using the Bezier Pen Tool, which is B on the keyboard. What I would do is start with the outline, make as an accurate selection as you can. I believe on the original I disregarded the wing mirror stand. Yeah, I did. I just I thought it would confuse the image if I included that. So what we're going to do is the same again. We're just going to come right down to this point here. Again, using straight edges. Don't worry about the curves just yet. I'm going to click on that black section. We're just following that black window edge. And I'm going to come down to about there somewhere. And then I'm going to come all the way back up to that one to finish. Now this is going to look confusing because the lines cross over each other. Let's just turn off that fill and turn on the stroke. Let's make it yellow. I'm going to hold down the Shift key and hit yellow. If you don't hold down the Shift key, you'll just turn the fill back on. So I'm going to go into the node tool now, and we can start manipulating that line to fit that edge. So we want that line to carry on, so it's actually the lower one. Let's move that into position. Let's make it a bit higher. That's good enough for us. And then the lower one, that's about right. And then the same down here, we can maybe just bow that down a touch just to give it a bit of form, and do the same with that one. And then we can turn the fill back on and turn the stroke off. The other way of doing it would be to just outline the whole thing and join these 2 points together. Just carry on all the way around the perimeter, and then do the same again on the inside and use path difference to punch out the glass. But I like that sort of dynamic edge where they don't meet. I like the points where it kind of suggests a window, suggests the line, because it can look a bit heavy-handed if you go right around the whole thing. So the next section we'll tackle this much in the same way. So we go B, click on the top, and I think we will do it in 2 sections. We'll click there and there, and then we'll come back on ourselves. You can stay inside the black, it doesn't really matter where. And then you want to try and click near to where this one is, the first point. So don't click here or over here, you want to be quite close to it. It makes your life a little easier. And then the same up here, click there. And then join them up. And then all we've got to do is go into the node tool, and we can start manipulating that edge where we want it. And then we need to join these 2 together. So just select that one, hold down Shift and select the other, and go Path, Union. And that makes it all one piece. I'll just move it off there to show you in some daylight. And Control Z to put it back. And let's just have a look at the other one again. So now we need to do this section. So back into B. I'm going to just snap on the end of that node there. Jump across the corner, straight down the edge, jump across that corner. And we can join back on there and then just loop it around like that. Now, for this one, I'm going to lower the opacity and hit B again. And we're going to just kind of fashion the inner window to this section. So I'm just following around the original lines like that. Let's change the colour, and then we can go Shift, hit S for the selection tool, hit Shift, sorry, and pick up the frame and go Path, Difference. Bring the opacity back up a little bit, and then hit the node tool. We can just pull all these into position. Now, if you see here where it's a little bit too thick, if you select multiple nodes, just click on one and hold down Shift, click on the other one, and let's click this one as well, and maybe even that one too. Right, let's move all of them together. Let's do that bit there. Let's just move that one back a touch, and then move that one down a little bit as well. Just going to hold Control to average that one out. That's a bit better. And then same again, just bring the opacity back up so it makes sense. Hold down Shift and select the other window section and go Path, Union. Okay, so that concludes most of the technical bits, but we are still left with a few details. Now, luckily, these are easy to finish off because we've already covered the techniques in the other bits of the tutorial. So the mirror, obviously, is just an ellipse sat over the photo. We've got the body lines. These are really easy to do. If you just hit B, I'll just show you on this section here. literally just click one there, and then come back to the original point, and then you hit the node tool, and it will automatically grab one of the lines, and you just move it up, and that's all there is to that. And that's how all these were created, just by clicking on various points, similar to the window, just a different kind of finish on them. All nice and easy stuff. And the back window was just a trace around the window itself. I opted to make that black rather than transparent like this one, because I thought if I make that transparent, you're gonna lose the roof line. It'll be too shallow. So I thought by putting the edge in, you'll be able to see the flow of the car. And then of course I just created another selection there, which was path difference to punch that out. The lights were done in exactly the same way as the exhaust. You can see the similarities there. The badge was done the same as the wheels, just again 2 ellipses with 1 path difference on top. And again the spoiler, much like the back window, was just traced over and filled. I tried it as an edge, but it looked a bit lost, so I did it as a shadow. And then just to give the front of the car a bit of a form, I put this edge in, which isn't really on the photograph. It's just again looks a bit lost without it, so I put that in. And the door was a little bit tricky because there's a lot of crossovers. When you start making the selections, it does tend to cross over like it did on the window, so you just got to watch that. And again, I didn't want to do the whole door because I just wanted to sort of suggest the door line rather than put it in. And then of course the distinguishing the sill there from the body, we're just going to N. I added on a section there, just sat it on top. You can just see it flickering there. If we press Alt and 6, you can see the X-ray mode. You can see all the lines that were being created and all the overlaps. And this is really useful if you lose a shape and you can't select it very well. Go into X-ray mode, you'll be able to find it really quick. And what was it? Okay, and the similar to this section here, all I did on the to show the edge of the car where it crosses over with the tyre. Again, just going to the node tool, just grab the node. That was just, I think it was something like that. I just added a node in and just dragged it across, so you can play around with the edges quite nicely, just by adding one node and dragging it. And there you have it. I think that's everything I can possibly tell you on how I made this image from the photograph. If you've lasted this long with me and you're still watching, please do consider giving me a like and a subscribe. And if you've got any suggestions for future videos or would like to see your car featured in one of my tutorials, just leave a comment and let me know. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.